Coming up on News San Diego at 11, a victory tonight for 2 San Diego military installations that almost fell victim to the Budget Act.
And another reason for celebrating in the military tonight, thousands came home today from the Gulf.
And assessing the damage, should the governor declare a state of emergency?
And comedian Roseanne Barr keeps them laughing in San Diego tonight.
Those stories and more all coming your way right now on News San Diego's Weekend Edition.
From KNSD, this is News San Diego Weekend Edition with Monica Gayle, Vic Salazar, Jim Stone Sports, and Joe Lizura Weather. Now, News San Diego Weekend Edition.
Good evening and thank you for joining us.
The whole idea was to save money, but shutting down the Naval Training Center and the Marine Corps Recruiting Depot would have taken 100 years to pay off. So today, a special commission saved the installations from the Budget Acts.
I move that we remove the Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego from consideration for closure or realignment for this commission.
The vote was unanimous. Although they worried about its proximity to Lindbergh Field, the 7-member commission said MCRD should remain status quo.
This is a premier prestige base for the Marine Corps.
San Diego Marines knew that all along. Joint Chiefs Chairman Colin Powell knew it too. He put the base on his list of 4 facilities he absolutely wants kept open. It appears the commission heard his message, and no one was happier than the Marines.
It's just like watching the Super Bowl, you know, and your team won, so we're really happy.
Congressman Duncan Hunter and Duke Cunningham were on hand at MCRD today when the news came in. They drew tents as the commission moved on to the Naval Training Center, also a base scheduled for review.
The recruit training setup in San Diego, at least as observed by some of us, was not ideal because it was sort of scattered around the facility.
But the advisor said closing the Naval Recruit Training Center would bring only minor savings. Once again, the news was good. But the commission warned the Recruit Training Center, or RTC, will get close scrutiny the next time around. The congressman said the decision was too close.
And that's not the kind of dramatic moments that Duke and I are looking forward to every month in San Diego. So we're going to have to make a real case for RTC. But for now, what great news.
The entire base closure package must be approved by Congress and President Bush. Monica.
Vic, there is some celebrating in Long Beach tonight. The Naval Shipyard there was also spared. Some of the shipyard's 4,100 workers gathered to await the commission's vote today. Later, they toasted their victory and their jobs with champagne. The commission, however, warns the shipyard could be put back on the hit list in 1993. The Naval Station and Hospital in Long Beach, however, did not make the cut. The commission voted to close both facilities. Also scheduled for closure, Fort Ord and Monterey. The county could lose as many as 25,000 jobs. After the vote, the commission recommended that Fort Ord's 7th Infantry move to Washington State. California did suffer one other loss. The commission also voted to close the Sacramento Army Depot.
Back in San Diego, there are a lot of happy sailors and Marines spending their first night at home after 7 months at sea. This morning, the USS Tarawa made its way into San Diego Bay after a 7-month deployment. Tarawa, one of 5 ships to dock at 32nd Street Naval Station today. The ships are all part of Amphibious Readiness Group 3. There were the usual hugs and kisses, but it was an extra special day for Petty Officer 3rd Class Norman Brown. He is a Navajo Indian. And today, besides his wife and 3 children, he was greeted by 34 family members and friends from Arizona and New Mexico. To say the least, he was overwhelmed.
It's good to be home. Thank you for all the people that showed up. It's just good to be home.
The other ships home tonight are the USS Juneau, USS Vancouver, USS Barber County, and the USS Frederick. They were scheduled to be back about 2 weeks ago, but were diverted to assist with Bangladesh disaster relief.
Governor Wilson says they need facts and figures on Friday's earthquake near Sierra Madre. Wilson may declare the area a state of emergency as early as tomorrow. Today, members of the California Conservation Corps went door-to-door in Sierra Madre, urging residents to evaluate damage to their homes and businesses and call in a report. This weekend, residents started making repairs, but some homeowners are now facing more than $1 million damage. It's estimated damage to the town could go as high as $20 million. A state of emergency would make residents eligible for some government loans and tax breaks. Farther north, investigators tonight are trying to find out why a plane crashed, killing all 6 people on board. It happened in the mountains near Jackson, southeast of Sacramento. The twin-engine Beach Queen airplane was headed to Lake Tahoe for a pleasure trip from the Modesto airport when it crashed into a mountainside and burst into flames. The pilot was using visual flight rules and was not in contact with the tower just before the accident.
Monica, a sad story from La Mesa tonight. A 5-month-old baby boy has died after he had been left in a car for about 3 hours. The circumstances surrounding the child's death are still not clear tonight, but La Mesa police say they responded to a report of an infant left in a vehicle. When they arrived, they found that the baby had just been removed from the car and that the child had stopped breathing. The baby was later pronounced dead at Alvarado Hospital. Police say they need to have more questions answered before deciding if they'll pursue criminal charges against the foster parents who were caring for the baby at the time of his death. There is an interesting twist tonight to the story of this fatal accident on Interstate 805 near Adams Avenue. It seems that after this car flipped over, 3 of the people who had been in the vehicle fled the scene. Police say a female motorist watched them and then called 911 on his cell phone. Because of that, officers were able to locate the 3 males on a city bus. They were taken into custody. The car that crashed had been reported stolen. The name of the person who was killed has not been released.
A power outage in Claremont has left more than 1,600 people in the dark tonight. Residents in Bay Park, University Heights, and Claremont have been affected by the blackout. San Diego Gas and Electric is on the scene and hopes to restore power as soon as possible. No word on what caused the blackout.
Well, still ahead on News San Diego, the gay community makes another statement in parades across the country.
And if you read the book Dying Young, you're in for a surprise when you see the movie.
It was a day of firsts at Wimbledon, but the same old story here at home for the Padres. I'll have all the sports coming up.
And the temperature is going up, way up across the county. I'll tell you why when we come back.
Midas stocks the right brake parts for practically every foreign car and uses Midas-trained experts to install them. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
You won't want to miss this 4th of July activity. It's called Saving Money. And at Lucky, you can save all week long on everything you need to celebrate Independence Day. Like discounts for adults and kids on admission tickets to Knott's Berry Farm, where you can see Snoopy's Great American Celebration all summer long. Pick up Key by Price Gatorade sports drinks in assorted varieties and save on Tropicana Twisters, regular or light, in assorted varieties. So come to Lucky for low prices Independence Day and every day.
Heard about Chevron's great gasoline and grocery giveaway? With over 3 million instant winners?
That's a lot of winners.
You could win the grand prize, free groceries for life.
That's a lot of groceries.
And free Chevron gasoline for life.
That's a lot of gasoline.
Or one of over 3 million free gas and grocery prizes worth up to $10.
That's a lot of fun.
So stop by Chevron, start playing, and start winning.
Finish every room should start with.
President Bush has apparently made up his mind. An administration source says the president knows who he will nominate to succeed Thurgood Marshall to the U.S. Supreme Court, but the president is not saying anything tonight. There is a possibility an announcement will be made tomorrow. Among the possibilities, U.S. Circuit Judge Emilio Garza of San Antonio. Another administration official says Garza spent several hours at the Justice Department in Washington yesterday being interviewed. The deadline has passed, and Yugoslavia is no longer closer to averting a civil war. A Yugoslavian ultimatum to accept a ceasefire is being met with defiance in Slovenia today. Wails of air raid sirens filled the air amid reports the Federal Army was about to launch a bombing raid. Slovenian soldiers are on an all-out search for hiding federal troops. The current crisis has erupted after months of ethnic and political feuding between leaders of the nation's 6 republics over the future of the nation. Here in San Diego, members of the Serbian Orthodox Church tell of the resentment over oppression caused by the communist rule. But they say if the republic falls apart, they doubt the small ones will survive.
I think the best thing will be really if all of them sit down, they talk, and all of them, they admit their mistakes, their shortcomings, and find a way how to live together.
Slovenian television reports the federal army has agreed to withdraw, but no details were given. A man from Croatia was also elected to head the collective presidency in hopes of averting an all-out civil war.
Here in California, it's turning out to be a long night for state lawmakers. They are meeting at this hour in an effort to tie the last strings on a budget balancing package. Earlier tonight, the Senate approved a bill limiting renters' tax credits and tax deductions for the wealthy. The Senate also approved a 4.4% cut in state welfare grants. Altogether, the Senate and the Assembly had at least 28 budget-related bills to consider on today's agenda. They are expected to continue meeting into early tomorrow. Well, if you ride the trolley or a bus, be prepared to pay more for your ride tomorrow. Fares are going up at midnight. Trolley riders will see an increase of a quarter for most one-way trips. However, trolley fares within the downtown area or between two stations will stay at 50 cents. Most bus fares will be raised by a quarter, except in the North County, where they will go up by a nickel. The Metropolitan Transit Board says it's the first time in 4 years that fares have been raised. It says it was forced to do so because it's facing a $6 million deficit for the new fiscal year, which begins tomorrow.
It was Freedom Day for gay and lesbians around the United States today. In San Francisco, more than 250,000 people turned out in support to watch the parade. 10,000 participants marched down 5th Street. The parade was complete with marchers, baton twirlers, a convoy of women motorcyclists, and men dressed in Victorian dresses. San Francisco's mayor and police chief attended the event. This is the parade's 22nd year. In Who's News tonight, Roseanne Barr. She won a dubious honor, that of winning the Sitting Duck Award. It is given out to whomever is seen as the easiest target of criticism. The National Society of Newspaper Columnists gave out the award, saying the comedian beat out Dan Quayle and Saddam Hussein. As the president of the society said, when you have 175 people shooting a fish in a barrel, the biggest target is going to take a lot of hits. The society wanted to invite Roseanne to the ceremony, but couldn't reach her. We know where she is, however. She is in San Diego performing at Humphreys. We'll show you that a little bit later on in the newscast.
Well, they say the book is always better than the movie, but in the case of the book called Dying Young, it's completely different from the movie. In the film, actress Julia Roberts plays the role of a nurse and lover to a leukemia patient played by Campbell Scott. That basic scenario stays the same, but everything else is different. Even the name was almost changed because 20th Century Fox thought it was too depressing. They considered cheerier names like Terminal Love and Undying Love, but the book's name stuck even if the rest of the plot didn't.
The Padres are licking their wounds tonight after finding another way to lose in front of the hometown fans.
And quick, put the kids to bed because you are not going to believe what happens to this car after it gets done spinning around in circles.
I've got two identical shopping lists of 100 items randomly selected by computer. Gene is taking his list to Ralph's, and Alma is taking hers to Lucky. They're back. Gene, how much did you spend at Ralph's?
I spent $266.22, Larry.
Uh-huh. And Alma at Lucky?
$247.39.
That's like over $18 less.
There's more to buying a Mercedes than just the car.
She loved the 300, so we did the trade and put her in the silver one that afternoon.
I love it. I mean, how are they going to treat me after I buy the car?
And I told her how easy routine maintenance was.
One Sunday night, we're on our way home.
Yeah, flat tire.
I call the 800 number. The roadside assistance guy comes out, puts on the spare, no charge. I could have kissed him.
Only at your authorized San Diego County Mercedes-Benz dealers.
Why does Jerome sell more furniture than anyone in San Diego? Is it because we've been in business for over 30 years? Is it because we offer the largest selection? Is it because we guarantee everything we sell? Is it because we offer a double the difference price guarantee? Or are we just lucky? I think it's all of those things, and a little luck doesn't hurt. So if you haven't shopped Jerome's, I'd like you to ask yourself this question. Why does Jerome sell more furniture than anyone in San Diego? Jerome's.
The news station you're watching won 35 Emmys this year.
KNSD.
KNSD. KNSD.
More than all the others combined.
KNSD.
Outstanding news station.
New San Diego, KNSD.
When you get the news, get the best and get it straight.
Congratulations.
News San Diego, KNSD.
Jim Stone off this weekend. Whitney Southwick sitting in. Really no surprise out at the stadium.
You know, if I was Padres fans, I don't think I'd let me come back and do this anymore, because when I do this, they don't do too well, do they? No. What is it about the Padres playing at home this year? They don't just lose ball games, they self-destruct. Today, a perfect example. Up 6-2, they not only blow the lead, they lose to the Giants in 10 innings, the final 8-7. Kevin Mitchell, well, he made his presence known as he always does when he comes to town. This is Mitchell's 5th home run this season against Padre pitching. He's faced Andy Bennis 13 times in his career and homered 4 of them. How ugly was this game? Watch this coming up. Will Clark will single to right. Tony Gwynn, of course, he grabs the ball and drills it to third base. A nice shot. But Scott Kulba lets the ball get away. Anderson backs up to play like he should, but then he'll throw home, and the ball ends up way over in the Padre dugout. Clark will lap his way around, and he'll come across the plate to score. Well, the Padres were still in this one late in the contest. They were up by a run here. Make that 2, thanks to Darren Jackson's second home run of the game. That'll make the score 7-5. Padres going into the 9th inning. But the Giants are not through. They'll score twice off their former reliever, Craig Leffert. Here, Tony Perez-Chica finds the gap. Trevor Wilson comes around to score. That ties the game at 7 apiece at the end of 9 innings. Moving to the 10th, it is Clark once again with the heroics. This single scores McGee. Pods come up empty in their half the inning. San Francisco walks off with it, 8-7. Atlanta plays some ugly ball of its own tonight. Dodgers Alfredo Griffith, the high bouncer, but where's Terry Pendleton throwing it? Ball ends up way out in right field. Harris will score on that throw. Then Griffith comes around when the peg home also goes astray.
Bell finally tracks the ball down, throws it into the plate. He's going to try for the plate, and he's going to make it! I don't know how many errors we're going to have on this play.
That's easy. The answer? 2 errors. Dodgers win it easy, 11-4. On the scoreboard, the ugly facts. San Diego loses 2 of 3 to the Giants. Tuesday, those Dodgers come to town. Elsewhere around the league, a great comeback by the Cubs today at Wrigley, down 4-1 to the Cards. Dwight Smith ties it right there. 1 swing of the bat, a 3-run shot. And from the what now department, well, check it out. Todd Zeal slides past the bag on the attempted steal. There goes Zeal, overzealous, of course. Don Dunston, all he can say is, come and get it. Talk about getting caught with your cleats down. Back to the numbers. It's the Cubs over St. Louis. The Bucks slip past Montreal. Philly outlast the Mets thanks to 3 home runs in the 5th by Philadelphia off Dwight Gooden, no less. And the Reds edge Houston by a run. Take a look at this. Jeff Bagwell singles to right, scores 1 run. But watch what happens when Eric Yelding tries to stretch it home. Paul O'Neill's perfect strike beats him to the plate. The result, a lot of hurt for catcher Jeff Reed. Reed did manage to hang on to the ball for the out, however. Toughest outs he'll ever make, I wager. Texas and California battled it out in a close one today up in Anaheim. Rangers end up winning it 2-1. One of the Ranger runs comes right here on the bloop single off the bat of Dean Palmer. Ruben Sierra will come around safely to score. Jose Guzman in control all the way for Texas, gives up only 2 hits. Goes the distance. One of those hits, however, well, it's a biggie. Dave Winfield says aloha to his 16th home run of the season. Winfield having a great year for second-place California, isn't he? Angels just 2 back of the Twins. Around the American League, it is California over Texas. Detroit completes the weekend sweep of the lowly Indians. Baltimore beats Boston when Carlos Quintana drops a simple fly ball, allows 2 runs to score. Toronto outguns Seattle. It's the Twins winning their 22nd game of the month against only 6 losses. The Yanks scored 6 in the 7th to make a comeback, and Oakland edges KC on a Canseco bomb coming up right here. There's Jose with those Gwynn-style custom shades, and he gets all of this one. A 3-run shot, enough to outscore the Royals 3-2. Mike Gallego, well, he'll chip in with some great defense coming up right here. Goes back behind second base and robs Mike McFarland of an RBI base hit. Dennis Eckersley, he gets his 22nd save of the season when Canseco will come in for the final out. It was a first in the long, eloquent history of Wimbledon. Never had so many of the common folk have been given the chance to see just what goes on behind the hallowed walls of the historic All-England Tennis Lawn Club. But when rain caused so many delays earlier this week, well, officials had no choice. They were forced to schedule play on this, the middle Sunday of the tournament, and it's usually a day off. So when tickets go on sale yesterday, well, it's not the rich and the royal lining up for those tickets. It's the regular folk, and look how they respond. Loud soccer fan like cheering and even a wave or two. They got to see some great tennis, too. Here, top seed Stefan Edberg serving for the match, beats Christoph von Rensburg in straight sets. Ivan Lendl, well, he had a tougher time of it with American Malawi Washington. He comes from 2 sets down and ends up winning the final point in the 5th and final set. All right, we're going to go to the race video now. Okay. Can you get that to me, Lou? You can't. Well, let's go this way, and I'll find it. Okay. Come on, Lou. Thank you very much. Saved by Monica. And finally, from the world of auto racing, Juan Manuel Fangio won the race today, but watch what happens right here. Lon Kenyatta's Tom Kendall loses the wheel, ends up smacking right into the wall. The car totally self-destructs. Kendall, he doesn't. He actually doesn't walk away from this thing. He's carried off with a smile on his face. He's happy to still be alive. He does end up with a couple of broken legs, but he survives, and he will be back to race again.
All right, and it's always nice to show what we tease, so thanks for getting that story in.
You bet.
All right, thanks, Whitney.
Well, up next, Joe Lizura with her back-to-work week forecast.
So I drive the car, the Mercedes. And the more I drive it, the more I think I really do want this car.
I think she liked that 190E.
But the more I want it, the more I'm wondering, how can I do this?
Just because it's a Mercedes, she's got this wild idea about the price.
No, you have to ask.
So I said, surprise, $29,250.
Really?
Really.
Only at your authorized San Diego County Mercedes-Benz dealers.
Young Fenster here says we can get $1,000 off of Canon's best-selling small office copier in exchange for our old copier. I said, $1,000 for this no matter who makes it? These young kids today will believe anything. I said, strip it down. If they think it's worth $1,000, they know something I don't. Fenster, it's a limited offer.
Trade in any copier and get $1,000 off the Canon NP 2020. You can even get a 3-year replacement guarantee. Call Remco Business Products at 571-1737 in San Diego and 438-1322 in Carlsbad.
On the Willie Jenkins tasteometer, I'm Willie. Steak fajitas rate of 9+. They're way up there. Then came this new steak fajita melt. It's got spicy cheese melting all over. Oh, onions, grilled sourdough. On the Willie Jenkins tasteometer, broke the needle.
It's not just steak fajitas. It's the new steak fajita melt. At Jack in the Box, there's always something new.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Black man is outnumbered 5-1. Nature is going to require that he take responsibility for more than one woman and her children.
Next Donahue, an explosive book divides the black community.
Are you saying, then, that submission and cooperation are one and the same?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
It's to go backwards 100 years to say that now the black man must enslave black women in order for us to develop.
Shahrazad Ali.
Immigration was the worst thing that happened to my people.
Next Donahue.
Monday at 3, right here on KNSD. Discover the Daily Difference. 5 special reports each week that'll make a difference in your life. The Daily Difference, only on NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Is here to talk about the forecast and the Grunion Run.
Grunion Run. It's going on in about 10 minutes to a beach near you. That's right. If you want to see the Grunions along the coastline between 11:35 and 1:35 overnight tonight, about the same hours again for tomorrow, and they run at periodic times all throughout the summer, so we'll keep you updated. Now that we have the chart that says exactly when they run, we're right on top of things. Speaking of being on top of things, we're on top of a brand new month starting tomorrow, July. Let me show you what a normal July is here in San Diego. Normally only 0.01 inches of rainfall. That's terrible. But we have had a lot at one point, 1865, back in the Civil War, 1.29 inches of rainfall. The wind, well, normally on a windy day, 15 miles an hour will do it. The windiest it's ever been was 30 miles an hour for the whole month of July. That was in 1925. That's hard to believe. Record high 100 in 1930, and the record low, well, you saw it right there, was 54 degrees. So it looks like it's going to be just a perfect month. That's great. Okay, let's go outside right now. However, every month in July, I mean, in San Diego is perfect if you ask me. 62 degrees is the temperature. But then again, I grew up in New Jersey. 73 the high, 62 the low. That's the current temperature. 87% for humidity. We're rising on the barometer, and our wind is out of the west at 8 miles an hour. Well, the surf, 2 to 3 feet. That's up a little bit over yesterday. Water temperature, 66. The visibility for divers is 25 feet. And of course, the Del Mar Fair in full swing right there behind me with all those lights. Looks like Las Vegas back there. Okay, let's talk about what's happening around the nation. Boy, I'll tell you, severe weather going on right now in the Midwest. North Dakota, South Dakota, parts of Kansas and Nebraska, severe thunderstorms. Heavy rain over Florida today, some places 2 to 3 inches worth of rain. And temperatures that were in the 90s in New England are slowly giving way to the 60s. And, of course, that means severe thunderstorms there, too. But watch, this area is the worst over the Dakotas. Here's the latest radar picture. Take a look. Going through Minnesota now, actually down into Kansas and Nebraska. This area, tornado watches are out. Severe thunderstorms all night tonight. We'll have to watch that area. Well, our county temperatures today were beautiful. Highs in most areas, mid-70s to the mid-80s. Tack on 5 degrees for tomorrow in most areas, which will take you from the upper 70s to the upper 80s. Except in Borrego, 110 for tomorrow. It's hot. High pressure building in. The storm track is still real active, but all the storms are going up to the north. High pressure is building in. Sunny and warmer weather for the next couple of days, so enjoy it. So the forecast, a little bit of morning haze as opposed to the marine layer along the coast. Then sunny, 78 coastal, 89 inland. In the mountains, pretty warm there too, 87 degrees. The deserts take the cake, 110 degrees. I'll bet you that either Borrego or Palm Springs takes the high temperature for the nation tomorrow. Sunshine Tuesday and Wednesday, still keeping up that warming trend. Thursday, the marine layer makes a return again. There's some tropical moisture over Mexico we're going to have to watch. Hopefully, for now, it'll stay south.
Thanks, Joe. San Diego's infamous national anthem singer, actress, comedian Roseanne Barr was in town. Barr, with her fast and witty remarks, left her audience laughing tonight at Humphreys on Shelter Island. Barr, dressed in black dress and pearls, told the audience about the changes in her life since becoming a star.
And I don't know, they're not like any parties I ever was at. It's real weird, because I spend the first hour wandering around this great big old house looking for the keg. And, yeah, so I go up to the host or hostess, whatever, I go, hey, you know, where's the keg, man? Says, well, Roseanne, there is no keg. Whoa, you're out of beer already, huh?
Barr's husband, Tom Arnold, also took part in tonight's show.
Just wouldn't be a weekend newscast if we didn't have at least one Roseanne Barr story in our show. Tonight we had 2. You got your money's worth. Good night.
Good night.